Fool Ray and Chamba, the two hosts. If I may, I'm thinking that you chose the best thing if you like them nerd shows and all of these movies. What up, Chip and Chap? This is Chip and Chap Chat. What up, Chip and Chap? This is Chip and Chap Chat. What up, Chip and Chap? This is Chip and Chap Chat. What up, Chip and Chap? This is Chip and Chap Chat.
What up, Chip and Chap? This is Chip and Chap Chat, episode 84.
84.
I am Fool Ray.
And I'm Champa.
We're two brown boys talking about nerdy shit. Let's talk about something right now.
Free comic book day was yesterday for me and also for you.
As of 32 minutes ago.
Future. What'd you end up doing? Did you go to any of your? Did you go to your local
I
shop?
did.
Did you pick up any free books?
No, I did not.
But you did.
I was looking for your book, but they didn't have it. So I got I bought some books instead. I got let's see. I got 1 through 3 of Super Sons.
Oh my gosh, we're talking about comics. This is great.
Super
Sons. Oh, so you didn't buy a trade, you just bought the flops?
No, because they don't have enough for a trade yet.
Okay.
So, but I wanted to read it because the artwork is crazy.
Very good, very good.
Also, I bought Spider-Man, the Miles Morales version. This is trade number 2.
Right. I was gonna say, is that the trade?
Yeah, this is
the
since
artwork on that?
Pacelli. So
okay, so it's gonna be gorge.
So it's that shit. Mm-hmm. It's that shit, and it's so fucking good. And also,
it's the good stuff. It's the good stuff.
I got Champions number 1 because I had read only the first issue.
Is that the trade?
Yeah, this is the trade.
Oh, it's out. I'm gonna grab that then. When that's,
yeah.
I didn't know it was out. I would have grabbed it yesterday.
Yeah, well, you know,
it's all right.
Gives you an excuse to go back. Yep.
I'll be back there in like 2 weeks.
And Gwenpool is part of the team. Didn't know that, or at least she makes an appearance.
All I know is the artwork looks great.
Yeah, it's rainbow, so it'll be a good time. So
colors are vibrant. It looks comics.
Oh yeah.
I like comics. So no free books at all. You didn't pick up.
No. Kanoe got some stuff too. She got Snot Girl
2,
and she got a couple trades of something. I think Doctor Strange and All New Wolverine, but neither of us got any free.
That sucks, man. That sucks. You missed out on the free stuff.
I was only really looking for one, so.
Well, I got an extra copy, so I'll bring it to you. But for those who are watching, you hopefully picked up just because it's free.
Pick it up. And it's wrestling themed.
It's wrestling and stuff that we
for
like.
For those in the know about the Chipper Chaps, we like that wrestling. We got
to design a belt soon so I can make it.
Yeah, we do. Then we can fight for it.
What? I thought we were making tag belts.
I want to put you through a table and take it from you.
I'd rather not. I really don't want to.
If it's tag belts, who are we gonna beat up?
No one. With the best. That's
no. We gotta fight Edwin and
Long.
Not Long. Edwin's homie, who I can't think of his name. The Is Good Art guy.
It's Isaac.
Yeah, Isaac. There you go. I couldn't think of his name.
I thought you mean Jimbo.
Nah, he said Isaac is his Chamba.
Yeah,
so.
that's true. All right, cool. Fun times. Yesterday. But you didn't they didn't hold any events and stuff in your area, did they? Like where they would get signings and do sketches. And...
They might have had that. I know they did that last year. They had people signing and whatnot. Okay. There was a whole fuck ton of people there, but I didn't see anything special going on. But we didn't show up till after 3, so some of that stuff might have ended. Yeah.
We had I think because there's 3 main shops in the city. There's Classic Comics, there's All Star Comics, and there's Minotaur. I know Minotaur.
You gotta fix this. I don't want to interrupt you, but one half of your mustache has just got a mind of its own.
This one here?
One of them's just
I'm just gonna hold it like this.
There you go.
Hold it. Yeah, it's not listening to me right now. I like that. It's got a mind of its own. What's it doing so shit?
It was just going
This
on
one,
its
it's
own
this
way.
one here, yeah.
You can, yeah.
Yeah,
It's like you
it's
can
being a
go
prick.
your own way.
Go your way. It's gonna. It's gonna. It's like it's fine for now.
There you
It's
go.
you watch
That's
by the end
fine.
of the day, by the end of the episode, it's gonna be back here like fuck this,
Right.
fuck this
It just
noise.
looked like he was doing like one of the.
Maybe he's doing that. Maybe he's wrestling pose of the 80s.
There you go.
Is it fine? It's
Here,
fine.
that's fine for now.
It's
You
fine
need to
for
stick
now.
some more mustache goop.
It's in the other room.
Anywho.
Yeah, the shops here do stuff. They hold like artist alley events and they hold like cosplay contests.
Right.
And you know, it's good. It's nice and festive. A lot of like kids get into it and stuff. They go sign up, like get some sketches, and so that's what I was doing. We were doing like free head sketches for people from like 10 a.m.
Yeah.
The first session was 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. at All Star Comics, and then we had a lunch break at Grand Trailer Park where we ate some burgers and got really full. And then
Didn't fall asleep.
No, I was about to. I was like this close to. Too much food, unnecessary but delicious. And the next session was 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. at Classic Comics, and that was good.
Gotcha.
Did a bunch of sketches. I'll be uploading them throughout the days. So
nice.
Good time. I got some books.
Nice.
I got the Street Fighter book because I wanted to see it in print. I got Betty and Veronica.
Adam Hughes one.
It was all Adam Hughes. It was gorgeous. I got I Hate Image, which is just I Hate Fairyland, like a special, which was great.
Does he draw them as if they are teenagers, or does he draw them like they're?
Who?
Adam Hughes.
He draws them teenage-ish. Like they don't look like Wonder Woman.
Well, I mean, not as buff, but I mean,
yeah.
Does he draw them like his normal pin-up-y good girl thing?
They look good.
Okay.
They look good.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's always funny because it's like Archie and Jughead, they look like joke characters.
Right.
Because obviously the main characters are still Betty and Veronica. But yeah,
Does he draw them to look like Archie and Jughead normally look?
They just... there's elements that you could tell that's them.
Right. I'm assuming it doesn't look like the Fiona Staples thing.
No, weird. No. Very different. Like, because they said, like, this book is very weird. It's very, the narrator of the book is Jughead's dog.
Oh, okay.
Hot
That's
dog.
weird.
Yeah, like, it actually shows him. It actually shows him, like, talking about him. And what's going on. So it's interesting, but... Like, if Adam Hughes draws the entire run of whatever run it goes for, I'll probably pick it up just because.
Right.
Because it's Adam Hughes.
It's Adam Hughes, man.
Dog barking at the back.
It's fine. I think people will be okay. They'll understand there's a dog.
They'll understand there's a dog. But yeah, the day was good. Very exhausting, but a very, very fun day. Very, very fun day.
That's good, man. What do we got on our list of nerdy shits?
We got one thing in TV talk. The first image of the Inhumans has popped up online.
Okay, I'm looking at this right now.
What do you think of it? That's not very good. As in, like, your reaction to it's not very good.
I mean, there's nothing about it that's, like, mind-blowing. I think Medusa out of them is probably the most disappointing looking.
She's the weakest.
Her hair looks very much like a wig.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know what her hair is going to be capable of doing. So maybe it is part of that. Maybe there's some practical thing.
Yes, that's true.
But it just doesn't look real at all. I feel like I'm going to sneeze and it's going to be awful. I think everybody else looks fine. I just really bummed out that Black Bolt doesn't have the cowl.
Yeah, I'm hoping that this is not just how they look all the time.
I imagine this is probably their standard look. I mean, because the only thing that I would imagine might be different is we saw that image of Medusa with her head shaved. So I'm wondering if there's like some kind of coup at the beginning with Mad the Game of Thrones man.
Mad the Mad Guy.
Yeah, Mad the Mad Guy, Game of Thrones misfit. He goes nuts. I'm
Mr.
sure.
Misfit, bad guy.
But I wonder if he like shaves her head because I know there's like a famous cover of him like cutting her hair off.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how famous it is, but it's a recent cover.
It's a cover that's fairly, yeah.
Karnak looks fine. I mean, that dude is a fine actor. I mean, we had talked about before we wanted it to be Keanu if they did a movie.
Yeah. But there's no way gonna get Keanu for this.
Yeah, not for this.
TV.
But
This guy looks serviceable.
the black dude, I can't remember what his character's name is. He's the one with the goat legs. Yeah, Gorgon. Deedly, 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 deedly.
Yeah, he has to. He's not gonna play that.
But I wonder if he's gonna have the goat legs. We can only see him from the knees up.
Mm-hmm. So we can't really tell whether
I think
or not it's goat
the
legs.
best looking one is Crystal.
Yeah.
Second best after that is probably either the bad guy the Madman Man or Karnak.
Yeah.
I think those three they're the ones that look the most like I imagine.
Cool.
It looks fine. It looks fine.
Needs just add it on with the cowl.
Right. I kind of like that it has the built-in like tail cape thing.
That's
cool. All cool to me.
I'd
it makes
rock
it
that.
more regal looking.
I'd rock it.
He needs the tuning fork on his fucking forehead.
Do you think they feel that a tuning fork
Might be too weird.
Maybe, I don't know, but it doesn't matter. That's the weirdness is part. I mean, after we'll get to this later, but after watching Guardians,
nothing's
even watching the first one, they embrace weird. So why skimp out it for the TV show?
For the TV. If anything, the TV should be more
Available to do weird.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this shit's supposed to show up in IMAX or whatever, so I feel like they're gonna try and throw something at us. The only thing I can think of that would be somewhat justifiable is they're like, maybe it's weird if he has the tuning fork and the dog has the tuning fork, then it implies some sort of connection that maybe isn't there.
Right.
But still, I feel like he needs the cowl and he needs the tuning fork. That's Black Bolt. He doesn't have the fucking wings.
Like,
those are on his
even if they incorporate
pants.
the tuning fork design motif into his cowl, that's cool too. But just
what
have
if he
a
wears
cowl.
like a crown that has that on it? Because he's supposed to be the king of
That's
Attila.
Yeah, like, and the thing is, like, one image and all these behind the scenes, photos. It's not really revealing, and that's fine because there could be so much of the like think of it like all right, we're gonna talk about Guardians 2, but like in Guardians 2, we saw a lot what we felt was a lot in the trailers, but that film had so much more that we didn't see in the trailers.
Which we talked about like the week before it came out, saying that we hadn't seen anything. We didn't know who the villain was, or
That's why it was great. Like, and it could be the same with this show where we've seen this one official shot. We've seen a bunch of these, like a handful.
You've seen a bunch of Black Bolt behind the scenes, and he still hasn't got that fucking mask.
Right,
I mean, granted, it's only one scene that we saw him outside for, because he was always outside, and I can't imagine the whole series takes place outside in Hawaii. So, I'm sure there's more to it, but I'm eager to see what it is. I want to see how their powers work. Karnak's ability should be dope if they do his character correctly.
Right. And I mean, dumb it down.
Crystal is supposed to be like the Avatar. She can control all elements and shit. Are we gonna see all that? Like, the Gorgon dude can stomp and make earthquakes. They've shown that on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. They've basically shown Black Bolt's ability too. Like,
that one guy that was screaming.
Right. So hopefully we get something cool out of it, man. That's all I can say.
And if it's IMAX, it has to look good. They have to make it look good. Otherwise, what's the point of it being on IMAX?
Also, this isn't in the notes, but also for TV news, Ghost Rider is coming back for the season finale thing for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
You think
we
it's
just didn't
supposed
talk.
to be like you think it's going to launch to a possible spin-off?
I think it'd be cool if it did. It would surprise me if it did.
Right. Granted,
because
the show's not doing.
Right, because the show's not doing well, one, and because I feel like we would have heard something. We heard about like Cloak and Dagger forever ago.
That's true.
We heard about Runaways forever ago.
How about if it was them like surprising? Just like,
Sure, if that's the case. I mean, the only thing that sucks about it is the character would be better served on Netflix, but they can't do that.
What if, like, when exactly would this final episode air? very soon, or is it like June, July?
I feel like it's got to be soon because I think they're
Okay.
on like the last few episodes of the show,
Okay.
and they did like 3 arcs I think already because they did Ghost Rider, then LMDs, then Agents of Hydra. So I think the Agents of Hydra is the one they're ending on, but I'm not sure.
Okay. Cause how about if like they announce something on D23 because it's a Disney property, anyways.
Could be, man, but I just want them to announce the show's coming back at all because right now it doesn't seem like it's gonna.
Right. Go
Doesn't
see
seem
because it was like I'd watch it. I'd watch a Netflix did. I'd watch a Netflix Ghost
Ghost
Rider.
Rider. Yeah.
I think it'd be
Just-
more suited for that.
I'm just worried about Agents of Shield. Not even because I'm like, oh, the show is so good, I don't want it gone. But I'm like, that's our last attachment to Coulson, and I'm still attached to the Coulson character. I want him around, and I feel
I
like if
liked
the
him as a
show
character.
goes, they're
Yeah.
not going to bring him back
Nah, he's done. He's done.
because so far as the movies are concerned, Coulson's
They
dead.
haven't bring it. Yeah. And also, as far as the movie,
They've never acknowledged
They
that
haven't
he's
really
alive,
brought anybody back yet, have they? Have they?
except for Nick Fury
But he didn't. He was brought back within the same film.
within the
wasn't
movie, but
that's
it
what I
was
mean,
one
that's
of the
what I
ones
mean.
where he died but he didn't die. Loki
Right.
died but didn't die.
he? Right. But like, I mean, like, no, he did. Like Quicksilver, he did.
As far as we know, but I mean,
Yeah.
it's we've only seen one other movie with Scarlet Witch in it since that movie happened.
That's true.
So we don't know what could happen in Infinity War. They could bring him back. Who fucking knows? Who even has any idea what these movies are going to be, man? So did you see there's new footage of a Spider-Man suit jumping around?
No, is this for
Like
a game?
No, it's like cam footage of somebody on set recording some dude in a Spider-Man suit jumping around for Infinity War.
Is it a new suit?
It's hard to tell, but it looks if it's real,
Mm-hmm.
it looks to be like more modified. Like it didn't look like he still has the big thick black armband thing. It didn't look like he had the black wristy do.
So what does it look like?
So more like the classic, like
oh wow,
outfit.
they're going like it's almost like they're simplifying it back.
I don't know.
to
I
an
don't know if that's the
extent.
case or not. Maybe at the end of Homecoming, he makes his own suit that's closer to what Tony made, and he's like, I can just do it myself.
Yeah, because it's like, okay, I don't need that. Like I
Right.
found I don't really need all of your stuff. I've got
Right.
my
He's
work.
like,
Yep.
you were right. If I'm nothing without the suit, I don't need the suit. So I
don't-
need to
yeah.
make myself me without it or whatever.
Mhm.
Maybe that's the case. I don't know.
Cool. If that's the case, cool.
Yeah. So there was some other speculation that maybe the suit thing, because you know how we were talking about how in Infinity War he has the motion capture shit on his face, that maybe it's not necessarily the symbiote, but that maybe Tony actually builds him the actual Iron Spider armor
Oh.
for going up into space and fighting. So
Cool.
I don't know.
There's too much speculation at this point. It could be anything, and
It
that's what
could
they're doing,
be
really.
anything,
Yeah.
but there was like footage of Tony like showing Peter some kind of thing, but we can't. It's obstructed whatever he's trying to show him. So people were like, "It's our new suit because he's wearing a movie cam footage shit."
Yeah.
But anywho,
Cool.
do you have anything else on movie news?
No. I
Okay.
just checked. There's really nothing. Nothing.
So
yet.
just gonna talk Garrett.
Yeah. Let's start off this discussion. No spoiler, and then we'll say
Okay.
spoiler, and then we'll keep going from there.
Okay, so just
yeah.
generally how we feel about it.
You watched it. You finally watched it. You watched it when it was released, which was the day before it was released, right? You watched the advance.
Yeah, we watched it on Thursday.
Cool. I'd seen it twice already. I hope to watch it again sometime. But generally, what did you think?
I loved it, man. I had a great time. I thought it was hella funny.
Mm-hmm.
The characters were all great.
Mm-hmm.
they're, they just built off of the characters and relationships that they had set up in the first movie, and they took you on a completely new adventure. They tied up some stuff from the first movie, but as far as because you can't recreate what the first movie is, because the first movie is like a jailbreak thing, and then trying to play hot potato with the orb.
Mm-hmm.
The second movie is not that, because there's no Infinity Stone plotline. They told us that from a long time ago. There's no Infinity Stone. There's no Thanos.
Yep.
And they don't have to break out of jail because we've already created the team.
Yep.
So to me, there was no way this movie was going to be what the first one was. It's a new adventure with the characters that we now love. Mm-hmm. So to me, it was great, man. I fucking enjoyed myself. I've heard people saying, but it's not as good as the first one, but it's still good, and I just don't. I don't feel that comparison, because the two movies are so different to each other.
Absolutely.
While still feeling similar, because they have the same characters.
So essentially everything you said, I loved it. I wanted, I obviously from the first film really liked the characters from the first film. Very different from the first film. Like you've stated, it's not, the story it shouldn't be like the first film, and I think a lot of the negatives that I heard was that I've heard people say it's like it wasn't like the first one. I was like, yeah, it's a sequel.
Right.
It's actually one of the better sequels because it expanded exactly what the first film established.
Right.
I don't want the same thing. I never wanted the same thing. I wanted the characters that I like from the same thing. I want to see them after.
Mm-hmm.
And it served exactly what I needed it to, and loved it. Loved the movie. It's you basically you've said it all at that point without any spoiling anything.
Yeah, I just I really enjoyed myself, man. I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was way funnier than the first one. Not to say anything negative about the first one. I just thought there was more humor. And you could at a faster pace.
Right. You could do that because that the characters know each other now.
Right. You have less to set up now because we know everyone involved. Mm-hmm. I thought the returning characters, Nebula, Yondu, the returning side characters were great. Yep. The new characters were cool. I liked the Sovereign.
Sovereign were good. They were used well.
Yeah, I liked the Sovereign. I thought that their kind of aesthetic and stuff was very interesting. The kind of 70s, 80s shit that was worked in. Mm-hmm. All their space battle stuff was really cool, which we'll talk about more later.
Yep. Mantis, loved her.
Loved her. I really thought her character was very unique. I maybe wish we would have got a little bit more time with her.
Right.
And the rest of the team. I feel like once the same place, it started to move very quickly in a different direction, so we didn't get to see them kind of play off each other as much.
Not the whole team. Well, again, we'll speak more about that later.
Right.
But I think I would highly recommend it. If you like the first one, I don't see how you could not like this one. It would be, to me, it seemed weird if you didn't like this one.
I've heard people complain about the music too, saying the music wasn't as good, which is very interesting to me. But it just maybe they didn't pick as popular songs. So
and the thing is, to be honest, the music choices it serves for the movie.
Right. I agree.
Yeah,
fully.
It's not fan service, and which is what I think some people wanted, really, just fan service music. And I'm like, this isn't. They've never been a fan service. The soundtrack in the first one, it serviced the film. It just happened to be more popular songs. These ones, a handful of the songs are a little bit more obscure, but they actually work perfectly for what they were trying to say with the story. They coincide with the story.
Yeah, exactly, they worked with the narrative.
Absolutely. It was storytelling. It was part of the score, essentially.
Interestingly enough, I don't know if this was intentional, but I felt very much like the music in the second movie is much more in service of getting to know a different side of the Ego character.
Yes.
Whereas in the first movie, I feel like the music was the character of Quill's mom. That was their way of getting to know Quill's mom. Even though we only got one scene with her where she's very sick, you get to see if this tape is all her favorite songs.
That's good.
We get to see that she's a very vibrant, happy person. We get to see that side of her without seeing it, So I feel like in the second movie, they kind of pay that off because we'll talk about that later
Yep.
too, but you get to see a different side of that.
Yeah.
You get to see that music manifest, basically.
Absolutely.
But to end off the non-spoiler, loved it. I'd recommend it. Watch it
Yeah.
if you like the first one. I honestly, I can't see how you wouldn't enjoy yourself
Yeah.
if you enjoyed the first one.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it would be really weird. It'd be really weird.
Okay, so
from
so
this
if you don't want to know anything more,
Yeah,
now's your time to bail.
and watch
We're
the
gonna
film.
talk about
Watch
the
the
real
film.
stuff. Watch the film, maybe
yeah.
come back and see
Come
what
back
we
and
have to
listen.
say.
Yeah.
Talk about the good stuff.
So we'll speak spoilers.
Okay, so now that we're talking spoilers, I can kind of elaborate on that point.
Yep.
Seeing Quill's mom, getting to see Quill's mom in her, and they got the same actress, and seeing her
I know,
in her
which is great. Yeah, you get to see her
joyous
alive.
form. Yeah, her really alive,
Like,
and
if you
with
think about
the
the scene,
immaculate, amazing Kurt Russell
dude,
youth.
it was so
stuff.
good.
Yeah, bizarrely good.
Because I was like, I'd recently just watched Big Trouble in Little China. I was like, how did they it looks fully they're getting
stellar.
so well. They're getting so well with that technology. Because I'm like, because I'm sure some people were watching and go, oh, Kurt looks really good for his age. And you see the real him now, you're like, oh shit, they did a really good job.
Yeah.
He looks amazing.
They got his hair perfectly coiffed.
Looked good. I was like, I'd watch it. I'd watch a fucking sequel to Big Trouble in Little China if you use that technology.
Right. So crazy, man.
So weird. But it was good seeing her. Yeah, as you were saying, she's fully alive. This was before Peter, obviously.
Yeah. Before Peter, didn't. Speaking of things not related to that, but no Nathan Fillion thing that I could see.
It was cut off.
It was cut out.
It was cut out. Yeah. It was one of the ones that cut out. Yeah. So
very curious about the Blu-ray.
Right. Likewise. I mean, I want it on Blu-ray. As soon as I finished, I was like, I need this. I want to watch this again.
Right. I just really wanted to know how his character fit in.
That's the thing, because it's a shame. Knowing who he was supposed to be,
right,
and then knowing that he was cut out, you were like, oh.
We didn't get Guardians on Earth, but we did get an Earth segment.
We did. You got a couple.
So you got to see that scene I was talking about where I was really confused. I was like, at some point they're on Earth and some goop shit is going on.
I remember when you first told me, I was like, that doesn't even make any sense.
Right.
But then in the film, you're like, oh shit, okay, it was the plant. Spoilers.
Right.
We're in spoilers, so it's
right.
fine.
We're in spoiler time, so
it's ego basically growing.
Right.
Yeah. His plan was messed up, dude.
Again, talking about the trailer stuff too, though.
Yeah.
When we talked about what we had seen before the thing, and I was like, we never see a shot of them fighting those gold people. I'm just not buying that they're the villain. And then we get that reveal, which was great to me. I like that twist.
I loved it.
I like that we got to see the planet with the face on it, even though it was subtle. I feel like that was kind of the only way to do it.
Enough. It was enough. Honestly, I know people full fanboys and stuff would be like, I want to see the planet talk, and I'm like, you don't.
It would be weird.
You do, but you really don't.
And if you're thinking about that, the size of the moon, the scale of that giant mouth moving around, what's that doing to the surface around it would be very, very strange.
Would be the way they handled it. I was just like, I can't believe, this one film. I've been waiting to talk about this film to you for a while now, but they expanded the entire cosmic universe so much in one film.
Yeah.
With one shot, all you need is like the shots when they were getting shot around.
Right.
Rocket and Yondu and what's his name? Yondu's first hand.
Right, I can't remember his name.
I forgot his name, but they were in a ship and just that was a great scene.
Yeah, that was great.
That was a great scene. But they were getting shot around, and then you could see the multiple worlds that they were going through.
Yeah, but I was confused by that. Was that supposed to be multiverse travel, or was that just supposed to be different parts of the galaxy?
They're different parts of our galaxy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they were going through different things. Obviously, the whole Stan Lee thing. We were like, yes, cool.
Right. As soon as the fucking one of the
Yeah.
Watchers showed up, I was like, they showed the fucking
Yeah.
Watchers.
He's he's basically had he because on the second screening, like you hear what he was talking about. You probably spotted it
Right.
first. On the second screening, you hear what he was talking about, and he's
I
basically
heard him
talking.
say the FedEx that he was a
Yeah.
FedEx guy.
No,
I
he
heard
goes,
that part.
because once I was this, and then the next time I was
Right. Right.
this. Because I'm
Right.
like, so
Right.
he's the watcher of that. That's basically what he's doing.
Right. I could see now in the credits he's listed as the
Liaison.
Watcher informant.
Yeah, informant. But what's
so
a watcher informant?
I think the only thing that I can think of is that they can't officially say
Call
he is
him
a
a watcher,
Watcher
yeah, I
because once he is a character, it's harder for him to keep cameoing and shit.
Right. Informant, at least it's
Right.
It's enough of a nod. It's enough of a nod.
Yeah, for
to
me
know
that was enough.
Yeah, to me I was like, good. You've established that. We wanted this to happen from a very long time ago.
Right.
We were
Right.
just make him a watcher, and it would make the most sense.
Right. And
It would
him
make
being
the
an
most sense.
informant for the Watchers is just enough for me.
Yeah.
He would look weird with the big giant baby head anyway.
Exactly.
So
Yeah. But
yeah,
the fact
I'm
that
totally
they
fine
had
with it.
them there, and I was like, they're fucking doing everything here.
Yeah.
Like when Sylvester Stallone,
Dude,
Spot.
I freaked the fuck out when I saw Michelle Yeoh in this movie. I lost my mind.
the final
I
team,
could
that's
not
the
believe
original Guardians, dude.
Right, but I don't know the original
Yeah,
Guardians,
but-
so I didn't know about any of.
Right.
I mean, I assumed that was the case because I
Yeah. Charlie
Hawk was
Charlie
one of the
Tuna, yeah,
original
yeah.
Guardians, but I didn't, to see Ving Rhames as some giant big dude.
Yeah, that's
I'm
Charlie.
like, that's interesting. And then to see I guess Michael Rosenbaum was the diamond skin
He's
guy.
Martinex.
Yeah, so it was like that. That's cool. I made that assumption once I saw him with Sylvester Stallone.
I also like.
I mean, I never would have
Stallone's
guessed.
Jacket. It was interesting.
Right, that
how-
they
yeah,
worked in the fin
They worked
thing.
in the fin. I was like, cool. It's subtle, but it's enough to be like, I know you're supposed to be.
Right, but I'm like,
Yeah. Once Michelle, I was like,
you
oh,
cast
shit.
Michelle.
Yeah.
Is it a cameo or are we getting?
Well, because it seems like talk afterwards now is that they can essentially establish them as, if they wanted to do a spin-off film, just
Right.
where it's just the original Ravagers team, which is essentially the old school Guardians comic. Because remember how Yondu was talking to Rocket's like,
Right.
we're like you guys.
Yeah,
We're just like
And-
you guys.
which is funny because I'm gonna have to go back and listen to the episode where we talked about what we thought was gonna be in it because I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure I said it would be hilarious if they had Stallone have like a team of space expendables.
Yeah.
And that's basically
That's
what that
basically
is.
it, because they're the Ravagers.
All right.
I was just like,
The only one where I'm like, I'm down with it, except for I don't know that I need a robot head of Miley Cyrus as a
Right.
character
It's-
in one of these movies.
It's not as annoying as having her actually be in it.
Very true. I don't have to see her.
That's why
So
I was like, oh, it's like, because they said, oh, she's in it, she's very, very small. As soon as I heard, I was like, you know what? I'm fine with the voice. I don't gotta see you.
it's just bizarre. It's bizarre that it's a
Yeah.
thing, but I don't know if I don't know if they would sell that as a
No,
as a
it's a
spin-off.
nice idea. It's a
But
nice
I can
idea.
definitely
Yeah, yeah.
see them coming back for the
Oh,
third movie in some
absolutely.
shape or form.
Absolutely. And also, a lot of the things that I think
Michelle
this-
Yeoh in a Marvel
know.
movie, bro.
It's sick. I get that. I was like, oh, they're doing. But like, again, they did so much in this film where they've kind of just that shot alone, you've automatically expanded that universe. You've already expanded the cosmic.
Right.
A shot, just having Sylvester Stallone's character, you've expanded it already. These films in particular, they're doing something which obviously it's because it doesn't feel like you're as limited.
hmm
You can do so much more. It's almost like you are grounded, but you don't feel as restricted.
Right.
And so they're doing all these things because of that. But so much goodness, man. So much goodness.
The storyline kind of breaking out from Rocket stealing the batteries.
It's
we
great.
had talked about that beforehand. That scene
Yeah.
was better in the movie than I was expecting it to be.
Yeah. Oh, dude, the intro song.
I was like, I'm a big fan of ELO.
Right.
So when that song came on, I was like, you guys, man, that's fucking great.
Yeah.
That was great.
And that whole opening sequence was fun. Anyway, I saw it in 3D. You said you'd only seen it 2D at this point, right?
I didn't watch it 2D. How was it in 3D?
The 3D. Okay, so the movie looked great in 3D.
Okay, yep.
It was cool, but 2 trailers that showed before the movie looked incredible to me in 3D. Like changed my position on the trailers, and I liked them. And I liked them already. One was Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Oh, you saw that in 3D?
The 3D for that trailer looked
so we're watching
like
that in 3D.
It looked
then.
crazy. Oh, for sure.
Okay.
Like IMAX 3D.
Okay, cool.
When I saw it, I don't know if it was just like they had their projector turned up to 11. I don't know what the fuck was going on, but
Vibrant.
the levels were very distinctive and the colors were very vibrant.
Okay.
But the levels, like you know the scene where they're on the bleachers and they're like, and he's like, I stole the shield or whatever to Genki, not Genki.
Yeah.
That scene, like when you're looking at it, it looked like levels of people, and you could see the depth of it.
You could actually feel like he's
The
standing.
depth, yeah.
Oh wow, okay.
And there was several shots like that. The other trailer was Thor Ragnarok.
Oh, that I can only imagine that looked amazing.
It did, and some of the background stuff in the 2D trailer, I remember thinking like that doesn't even look that like that kind of looks cheap to me. Like some of the shots of him. The Valkyries look crazy. That whole scene looked like wicked. But the scene of Thor in the Coliseum when he's getting ready to fight the Hulk,
looks
like,
good?
yeah, like to me, in that scene, like they look very fake. He just looks kind of like he's like kind of standing in front of the backdrop.
How it's like maybe it's still in early pre-pro or like it's still mid pre-pro because it feels a little like blurred. They blurred it too much when he looks like he was just placed in front there.
Watching the 3D version, you feel the distance between him and the walls.
I figured that would be the case.
It makes it feel like there's more mass to the Coliseum.
Yep.
So I was like, it helped quite a bit.
Okay, so that film is definitely a 3D film.
Oh yeah, and I looked over at Kanoy when we first watching it. The trailers came on. I was like, these trailers look fucking bananas for some reason. I don't know if they've just within the last 2 they've gotten better at using the technology, or or maybe they're just forcing it more because they're like, people want to see 3D shit. Dude, let's force this.
Infinity War.
It's gonna be bananas, and that was being filmed in IMAX, dude. That's gonna be bananas.
So that shit is square format.
Oh yeah, I cannot wait. I cannot wait.
Dude.
It's gonna be bananas, and once they do their like whatever the Civil War version is of that airport scene, or the Civil War airport scene, whatever that is in Infinity War, is gonna be a gajillion times more crazy, I'm sure.
So yeah, you were saying that the 2 trailers look great in 3D.
Yeah,
how did the opening scene look in 3D?
The opening scene for Guardians?
Yeah.
It looked great. I mean, but a lot of that is the background is kind of like forced blurred because you're just looking at Groot walking around.
Yeah.
But it looked great. I mean, I thought the whole movie looked great. The 3D in the whole movie looked pretty good.
I liked the movie. I think it looked great. I think it had a lot more heart.
Dude, if a Guardians movie can make me tear up,
dude, yeah, that's exactly.
Job well done. Because I at a scene where I knew I should not have been tearing up, like
which scene?
Yondu's firework
dude,
shit.
That scene, I was like,
where I'm like, it's just fireworks, but I'm getting choked up. I'm like, how you gonna spend this whole movie making us get excited about the idea of Yondu being on the good guy team?
Yep.
And then one fucking final Mary Poppins y'all for the rest of the world.
Yeah.
And you're out of there, man.
Yeah.
Come on. There's nobody that didn't get to the Mary Poppins y'all. I'm Mary Poppins y'all. Yeah. Nobody got to that part and didn't immediately just sign on board for like Yondu forever. He's one of the best characters now. He's one of the best characters with the rest of the team.
But like, just that whole scene is like, oh, you're wrong with Mary Poppins. Like, is he cool? And he was like, yeah, he's cool.
Yeah, he's cool.
Yeah, and I was like, yep. He's like, because he understands, like, you are fucking cool.
Yeah, it's just, granted, it's a little weird with the first movie in context where he was like definitely gonna kill Peter.
But see, they did definitely
they kind of they brought it back with this film. It's like, you said your name is like, it was a joke. It's like, I thought you were serious. Like,
the eating them thing, yeah,
Yeah.
but in the first one, he's got that arrow thing right on his fucking head when
you know he
he's
was
like
never gonna
running
do
around
it.
with the
That's why he
orbs.
switched too quickly.
For sure,
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
But I'm just like,
They paid
to
it off, I
suddenly
feel.
then be like, you were my dad the whole time.
I think. Well, this film takes place. Also, I like that the film takes place in 2014. So technically, we have like 3-4
Wait,
years.
what?
The film takes place 2014.
I don't remember that ever being said.
At the start, 1980, the car driving and stuff, the pregnant. 34 years later, they said specifically 34 years. So
Okay.
this film takes place 34 years after 1980. So it's
Okay.
2014.
Weird.
So this film is actually a couple of months after the first one. This is one of the only
They
ones
did.
that doesn't
They
take
did say it
place,
was
yeah.
right after.
It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't.
I guess
take
that's
place.
why, because
Yeah.
they started it immediately
But
after.
saying that now, what I'm really curious to see what everyone's relationships are like 4 years after that. Because when we
Right,
see
I
them in
mean-
Infinity War, they're not going to be exactly the same way we left them.
Right. They're gonna have to time. Well, that's the thing too. Is
That's why I love it. I love it.
okay. So I don't know if you heard this being talked about. Vin Diesel has brought it up.
What?
But so we get to see teenager Groot at the end of
Oh
the
yeah, yeah.
movie,
It was saying
which was another thing that I said
Yeah.
would be hilarious when we were talking about like what we think could be there. And I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
that'd be funny if they ended with like a teenager Groot at the end, like they did
He's
the
like,
baby
whatever,
Groot.
I love Groot. Yeah.
But, and that was
They-
great. I
yeah,
loved
that's
it.
Great.
Um,
It's like no, he
but
already feels.
Vin Diesel has said the version of Groot that we saw in
Yeah.
the first Guardians is not the full Groot.
It's not
He
the-
said that's like right out of college Groot.
Mhm.
So I'm expecting some like big hulking,
Yeah.
crazy looking version of Groot
Exactly.
by the time we see them in Infinity War.
Mhm.
If we're gonna time skip 2
Exactly.
years by the time we see them,
4, a couple, 3
Yeah.
years, 3-4 years.
3
yeah.
years by then. So yeah, I'm very very curious, very very curious, man. These movies are they're nuts.
They're nuts.
And
They're making it. It's great. Like, yeah, like this film. It's they did things again. Like I didn't. To me, I was like, I liken this to like a Pixar film
right,
because it kind of does. It kind of hits every spot.
right.
You know, where to me it's a Marvel film that feels closest to a Pixar type storytelling, where nothing feels incredibly forced. Sometimes some things maybe feel close to being forced, but not, if
Mhm.
anything. But like emotions aren't forced at all, I think here. I think they were played perfectly.
Yeah, very naturally.
Yeah, very like, and I know you were saying earlier in the non-spoiler part, you were like, you kind of wish you saw more of Mantis with the team.
Yes, especially after the scene
Right.
with her and Drax
Absolutely.
when she is outside with him and she touches his arm and she just starts bawling
Great shit.
because
Yeah.
it hints just a little bit at Drax's constant pain over
Yeah.
the loss of family,
Mhm.
but that he just sits there stoically because he can't express it.
He doesn't know
Is
how to.
very very interesting to me.
But
Yeah,
like while obviously more, I do like how they managed to touch essentially on every character
right.
individual. The whole splitting them up works well because you got to focus on each of the character and who they are and who they're supposed to be. It is a shame we didn't get to like when they group back. It's harder to show them work together as a full group when there's so much shit going on.
Right,
And I
because
get why
they
they couldn't.
because they come back together in the middle of the shit,
Right.
basically.
And I get why they couldn't, but obviously that just means we'll get to see more of that eventually.
Yeah, for sure,
Um,
for sure.
We did see them, like, obviously we saw Mantis get along with a few of the members, and to me that's a nice start at least.
Right, for sure.
It's definitely
Yeah.
a nice start for her to get familiarized with them. Even bloody, Yondu getting along with like Rocket and Groot
Groot.
as well.
Yeah.
Bloody great. That's why you're like, oh, this is gonna be great.
Yeah, that scene in particular, I'm kind of going back and forth. I didn't dislike it in any way, but the scene where Yondu is explaining that they're the same person, basically, I don't think any of that clicked with me in the moment
Mm-hmm.
that they're supposed to be the same type of guy, because I'm like, Yondu's not. He doesn't act like Rocket does.
No.
Like Rocket was very purposely being mean to people.
Right.
Yondu is authoritative, and he's purposely like, what's the word for intimidating,
Yeah.
but not the same way that Rocket is. But when you think of it in the context of
His team.
his position on the team with the old group, was very interesting. The concept of that was very interesting to me. So I'm like, it's a shame that we killed him off because we never got to see that dynamic either.
Exactly.
We only have to assume it because of what he said to Rocket, what his dynamic was with that team. I found that interesting. Anyway.
It's definitely it's a shame we don't, but to me that's enough to make me go, wow, they really thought about it.
Right.
Because then they're really thinking about the place of each of the characters' place within the larger unit.
For sure, but I wanted one shot of that whole team with Yondu in it, with this big red fin in it.
Yeah, it was cool. I like the new fin; it's legit.
It is. Do you think they're gonna actually let Sean Gunn's character wield it? Like he's gonna be the one that controls it now?
Probably not. It was funny though. That last scene was funny.
That scene was great. I don't get. Me and Kanoy were talking about it too. We were like, just putting it on your head makes you control the thing, because that shit looked like it was like built into Yondu's head.
It's planted. Like most likely in the end, he had it implanted into him as well. They're not going to delve into that. But that scene was hilarious. His yell was real. Like that pain was real.
His laugh is also like that, super guttural.
Yeah, I love it. It's so.
Right. I saw an interview with Batista where he was talking about where that laugh comes from. And he said he was on the first one when they were flying all over the place and getting like slammed up against stuff, and the whole time everybody's freaking out except for Drax is like laughing super hard. He said when they were filming that scene, he did the laugh, and Sean Gunn
James Gunn? Director?
James Gunn. Yeah, James Gunn would laugh at him laughing.
Yeah.
So it made him laugh. So he would go, Batista, that was great, man. Can you go even bigger than that? Okay. And so every time they would try it, he would go bigger and bigger, and it would make him laugh more until they landed on like the most ridiculous, like euphoric laughter. And that's now Drax's laugh.
But I like that it's Drax that does that, because he isn't the character that you would expect that from, and not in a sense where I'm like, oh, they forced that characteristic on him. I'm like, he's a hardened warrior. He doesn't know
like he'd fit in perfectly with like Thor and the Warriors 3 or whatever. Like he would fit in perfectly. They could go do a spin-off with those guys and it would be totally fun. Him and Thor, I'd love to see it.
That would be great.
Hopefully Infinity War. He fights alongside Rocket, so
yeah, that's Infinity War is going to be something else. But this film just had some really just the moments where obviously he jumped into the creature's mouth.
Mm-hmm.
He's like he's still trying to but in the end it's like I defeated it single-handedly.
Right.
Like, you're an idiot.
Dude, also the scene where Gamora and Nebula are fighting in the cave after she's like chasing her with the ship, and she picks up the turret from the side of the thing, and it looks like Iron Man's ult from Marvel vs. Capcom, the like proton cannon.
It's like, this is legit. Yeah, this is legit.
That scene was epic.
How did she turn it on? I was like, no, she hotwired it.
Right,
so they would just keep firing. I know people would think that's ridiculous. I'm like, she's an alien.
It is, and they showed multiple times before that.
Yeah.
Versions of her strength. They showed like holding on to Drax just by the cord while they were like crashing and shit. She was holding it.
And he's
they showed something else with her super strength earlier too.
She can cut the thing.
Right, she did cut the thing with the sword.
It's like we understand that she's incredibly strong.
Right,
like,
but
a lot stronger than a human.
I heard a lot of people mention that they thought it was weak that Drax didn't get like a second action scene other than the first one, which was mainly out of focus. I did like though his scene at the end. It wasn't an action scene so much, but when he's running to get Mantis back on the ship,
Yeah, and he's
and they all start sinking into the rock, and like as he's going up, he just lifts her over his head.
Yep.
I'm like, that's some
hero
like
shit
heroic
right
shit.
It
Yeah.
is. But I was like, see how one shot can make a guy who comes off as like, they don't really come off as being heroic for heroic's sake, you know. They're not coming off as Superman, right? But they're just doing good things because they're doing things because they feel that it's the right thing to do. That moment alone showed him being a actual hero, just trying to save that one person at least. They didn't do a lot of these shots.
It was great too because it was juxtaposed with how he talked to her. He had to be
Dude,
the most brutal
he had the
with
best.
Mantis.
When he was like, when she woke him, he was like, "It's like, what's wrong? I'm just imagining."
Right? It was so good. It was so good. And at the end when he was like, "You are beautiful.
You are beautiful
on the inside."
But he understood not to say it to her.
Right.
Just
right. He didn't say it out loud. That was his version of being nice. He had to say it still, but he did it under his breath.
He speaks what he believes.
Right.
So that's why he's like, "Oh, you got a cute pet. Can I pet him?" He's just still like.
Yeah. I was talking to Kanoi about that too because I thought it was very interesting that in the first movie they were going with this whole like Drax doesn't understand metaphors thing, and while in the same movie he ends up actually responding to metaphors like even later in that same scene. But the point was it was very interesting to me that they were using like he doesn't understand metaphor and language in the first movie, where in the second movie it didn't seem so much like the metaphor thing was there. It was just he was now brutally honest. Like he had Asperger's, like he has zero filter. He just says it immediately as it touches his brain, kind of thing. Which is like I loved when the Sovereign. He's like, "Why are we being chased by Sovereign fleets? Maybe because Rocket stole some of their batteries." It's like you did. He's like, "No." He was like, "I mean, he didn't steal the batteries. What a mystery! You have no idea why they're following us."
He just backtracked himself.
It was so good. Yeah, it was fantastic.
Just that shot where it's like, "Your innocence reminds me of my kid." He's like, "You remind me of my daughter because I'm disgusting." It's like, "No, you're innocent." Just her reaction is like disgusting.
She was like proud of it.
Yeah.
She was hopeful.
He was.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's the best.
Yeah, her character was fantastic.
That was great. Just Ego was cool too, man.
Ego was cool.
Like, I know people like, "Oh, Marvel villains are weak and stuff." I was like, he was actually.
I thought he was great.
He was one of the strongest villains.
Yeah, and they gave us a lot of time with him.
They did, and I like that. But I think the connection works. Like, I think the reason why the villains that come off as the stronger villains in the Marvel Universe are the ones that have a tie to a character. That's why Loki's a greater villain. Because he has such a close tie to the hero of that story, Thor.
Maybe, I don't fully agree with that.
Loki's a villain? He's not really a villain.
I think he's a villain. I just don't agree that the reason Loki works is because of his tie.
Absolutely, I'm not saying that's a complete reason. I'm like, it's a nice connection to have.
Right. I just feel like Loki gets too much credit as the one villain that is good, and I feel like a lot of that is they've given him more movies. We've just seen him more than any other villain.
I like Red Skull.
If they had kept bringing Red Skull back, we'd be like, Red Skull's a great villain. We just only got one movie with him. I did too. And I think people would have liked Loki even if he was only in Thor 1. But he's automatically going to be more of a threat and more memorable because he was in Thor 1. He was in the first Avengers. He came back for Thor 2. And we're going to see him again in Infinity War, I'm sure of it. So it just... I feel like he's gotten so much more exposure than any of the other villains. Almost all the other villains are one and done. Which other villains have come back other than Thanos? And he's only come back because we haven't seen him fight anyone.
And at this point, it's like I can't even say he's a strong villain.
Right.
We can't do nothing.
We assume we know he was fucked up to Nebula. He pulled her eyeball out and all that shit.
Yeah, which is pretty fucked up.
Right. But I'm still, I'm quite curious how they're gonna make him stand out.
Ego was dope though. Like he's fucked. He's messed. He's messed
Yeah.
up. Ego.
The cavern cave filled with all the dead children over the years
that was his children.
right. He killed them all because they didn't have his ability.
Yeah, but
them back to their
did.
worlds. He killed them all.
That's fucked up.
Yeah.
And
you know, that's the one thing I think that was odd to me after watching the movie, though, was how quickly. Okay, now granted, the scene I loved the scene when he hears Ego say, "I put the tumor in your mom's brain." He said, "You know, it's a shame I had to put the tumor in your mom's brain." Yada yada. He just says it so nonchalantly, like it wouldn't even be a problem.
Right, because he thought Peter was on his side already.
Right.
He thought,
like we figured
out. I've already showed him.
Yeah, I've expanded his mind.
Yeah, like I've got him. That's why even Mantis was like, if he speaks to him too long, we've already lost him.
All right.
We've already lost Peter.
All right.
But then it's like, obviously, he didn't realize that Peter's connection to his mom is so much deeper than he thought. Because he didn't understand that whole. It's not like love isn't just a word that you say; it's what you feel. That's why in the end, where it's like, it's like when Yondu was like, he doesn't use his head to control the arrow.
Right.
That's why he couldn't control his actual abilities. Like, you don't use your head; you gotta feel it.
All right. And which is, another reason why. Well, first I loved when he snaps out of it and just starts blasting the shit out of. He was melting him with those guns.
And I was like, wow, they're doing this.
Oh yeah, dude.
They're doing this. Like, they're not even holding back.
Him like piecing himself together again was so wicked looking.
Dude, when he was fully recreating himself and he's
muscle, I mean, obviously it reminds a little bit of like Dr. Manhattan because it's just the first time we've seen that on film.
About it, that didn't even cross my mind.
Did, but it's not a negative thing. It's just like that's the other time I've seen this kind of thing. So I automatically my brain went there. But it looked cool still, and that fight was bananas. Okay, so I've seen conflicting thoughts on this one scene where some people said it took them out of it. For me, it was funny and it was a callback to something they said earlier, so I didn't mind it. When they're having their Dragon Ball Z thing and they're flying at each other and shit. Ego flies at Peter and he's pulling up all these rocks, and then Peter's flying back at him. He's pulling up rocks, but his rocks are yellow, and more of them start building up, and then they do the full out scene, and Peter has turned himself into a giant Pac-Man or whatever. To some people, that joke, because he just revealed that he killed your mom with a tumor, and all this crazy shit is happening. You just found out you're a god and this fight and all this crazy shit, that he would do this jokey thing of turning into the Pac-Man. Now, for some people that pulled him out, it didn't pull me out of it. It didn't ruin the scene for me. But I did appreciate that it was a callback to earlier when he was like, upon learning, upon learning that he has this ability, his innate reaction is like, he says, I would make Pac-Man.
Yep, exactly.
And then he's like, I would make weird shit. And
I would make weird shit.
Right. It was a payoff.
Yep.
It was a payoff of that moment. Yep. But I understand both sides where like.
I know. I understand like how that could take him out, but I sway more to I get how it can. I understand the people who would say, oh, that took me out because reference. I'm like, no, but it's not just random reference.
Right.
Like if it was never mentioned and he turned into Pac-Man, then that's random reference.
Yeah, then it's random. It calls to nothing.
Or if like in Family Guy and stuff, how they say, oh, it's kind of like so and so.
The non sequiturs. Right.
This isn't a non sequitur. The first thing he bloody said.
Right.
And obviously at that point, when Yondu goes, use your heart, what's the first thing that obviously came to his mind and heart? Pac-Man, he got He-Man, all transfer. He said a bunch of shit. So that made sense. And it was a callback. It's not like it came out of nowhere. I can understand.
And it sets up and supports who
he is.
Star-Lord is.
Yes, that's
in the first movie, presented with the end of the universe, potentially, the end of an entire planet, he has a dance battle.
Yeah.
It's just who his character is.
Exactly. Now, that's why it didn't take me off. I'm like, it's Peter Quill. That's Peter Quill. You can't you if he did something else, like if it was a super version, I'm like that would feel more forced.
Right.
But
there was a lot of good stuff in it.
I like that.
Ego was handled brilliantly.
He was great.
the Sovereign stuff I wanted to talk about earlier, the arcade kind of battle
I loved
tactic
it.
stuff was great.
I
It
loved it.
reminded me of Toys. Do you remember
Yeah.
that movie, the Robin Williams movie?
Yeah.
They had a whole thing where like they're military trained kids by having them fly
They also
video game
look cool.
jets or whatever. Yeah, the whole stations were
Yeah.
neat in
But
general.
they themselves look great. The Sovereign, all gold and shit.
Right. It makes me very curious for what's next because we also weren't able to talk about the other post credit scenes. We mentioned
Yeah.
in the
mentioned the
Watchers,
Groot.
that was one.
Yeah, we mentioned
The teenage Groot.
It was great.
The Adam Warlock thing, though, they show the
Yes.
cocoon. She
Adam.
says, "I'm going to name him Adam."
Adam. And I was like, oh shit.
Now, so they said that James Gunn said that that cocoon in the original movie was supposed to be Adam Warlock at the start, but they didn't know what plans were going to come up. So when they decided we're going to do Adam Warlock for real, then of course they had to change that cocoon wasn't his cocoon.
Could be anything else at this point, though.
Right. It could have been
Yeah.
anything. They're in
And
space
that's
or
fine. That's fine.
So they made the tech-based cocoon instead. It looked really neat.
It looked cool.
I just want to know. I want to know how his character's going to fit in because they said they could just be misleading, but they said he's not in Infinity War.
He could be post. He could be one of the first ones post Infinity.
For sure.
Yeah.
I have a feeling he'll be involved. I feel like his story is going to involve a lot more in Volume 3.
Yeah. Because Volume 3 takes place after, doesn't it?
I don't know because it comes out after. But if these movies are gonna just take place months apart from each other,
right,
they could easily be like, and this one's 3 months after that.
Again, like
it's still in 2014.
We haven't got any details yet, so this one actually could be this Guardians film could take place post Infinity.
It could. So I'm saying we could, maybe we get the giant weirdo Groot in Infinity War because that one's at our time. But maybe if they go to Volume 3, we get to see what teenager Groot would be like in a movie. Like he's the one that we see.
Right.
So if that's the case, interesting.
We'll say that. I'm keen regardless. Those are pretty cool end credits.
What was the other one? We mentioned 4 of them. Okay, so there was the Yondu Arrow in Batista, the Adam Warlock, the Stan Lee one,
the Ravagers.
The Ravagers, the old team Ravagers was the other one.
Yes.
Okay, so we mentioned all 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I want to go again soon. We want to actually see it in IMAX 3D because we liked the regular 3D so much.
Cool, man. Let me know the IMAX 3D, guys. Whether or not it's. I know I like IMAX more because of sound primarily. I love the audio in IMAX. That's nothing can top the IMAX sound at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think the problem with IMAX in general, or just IMAX in general, is that you need to have a decent seat.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
If you're sitting in the bottom corner, it's fine, but it's
not worth it.
Right. It's almost that's why I haven't watched IMAX yet because me and my mates can't find decent seats yet. Nothing's been available yet, so we're just waiting it out.
Yeah.
But we do want to peep it in IMAX because we've obviously enjoyed the film so much that we'll just pay to see it again. It's like bloody My mate bought the Art of book,
and
he goes, "Dude, you should see some of the designs that they came up with that weren't used, but obviously that led up to whatever the finals were. It's really good stuff."
I'd be curious
to check it out. Yeah.
They usually have those shits in Barnes and Noble, so maybe I'll go peep Marbles and Bones. But yeah, man, I liked it. Out of 5 Chipper Chaps,
I give this a 5, man.
Yeah,
I liked it. I loved it a lot.
I did love it. It's hard for me to.
It's not a hard 5. It's a loose 5.
Yeah, I'd say 4.5 then, because
easy. Oh, it's 4.5 easy. That's a guaranteed 4.5.
Who? I don't know if I can scale it next to something and be like, this is the perfect movie. This is a 5, and this is that. But I feel like I had a great time, and that's what else. What are you looking for out of a Guardians movie?
What are you looking for?
Great time with the characters you love. Yeah, for sure.
In general, you want to go into a film, you want to come out going, I had a really good time there. I like the characters, the story was good, or the story was great, but good is fine enough, man. At least I don't want to walk out and go, characters were great, story was fucking shit. You know, I don't want that. The music was good, the acting was great, emotions, action, visuals, it was all there. Like, I didn't walk out of it not satisfied at all. I walked out of it completely satisfied.
Yeah, man, for sure.
Yeah, I loved it.
So, yeah, 4.5 for me too. I loved it. I hope to see it again soon. But unless you have anything to add, that's pretty much it, right?
Watch it, guys.
Watch it soon. And
let us know
that's
your
the last
thoughts.
thing on the thing. Yeah, tell us what your favorite parts of the movie was. What do you think is coming next?
Yes.
How do you feel like... I hope Thor Ragnarok.
Oh, dude, I'm so excited for that shit, bro.
Yeah, Thor Ragnarok's gonna be... Okay, right now.
Yeah.
Yay or nay? Is one of the gladiatory combatants going to be Beta Ray Bill? Call it right now.
I want a full yay.
Yay? Full yay?
I want a yay.
No, we're not going off of you want.
Oh, okay.
You're predicting right now. Is he going to be in it, yay or nay? They gave us the Watchers, man.
I know, and I didn't see that coming at all. And not just not see them come. Like, I wanted it to happen. I wanted the Watchers.
For sure. But it was a complete surprise.
But not even that. They look like the fucking Watchers.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't even skimp out on it. They gave us the big heads. They gave us the bloody huge collars.
Yeah, they went full-on Watchers, man.
There were freaking 3 of them standing there like, oh, goodness. Are we going to get Beta?
Gotta call it now.
Yeah, I want it. Yes. I want to believe that if we don't get him at least as a player in the background, even just a glimpse of what he is. Yes, I'd like that.
Okay, one more. This is pipe dream. I don't think it's gonna happen, but
let's do pipe dreams. We'll shoot for the moon, whatever.
In Planet Hulk.
Yes.
In Planet Hulk.
Okay.
The roles are kind of reversed of what we see with Thor. How Thor's being made to fight all these people. In Planet Hulk, Hulk was the gladiator. He had to fight all these people. His surprise work friend was he had to fight the Silver Surfer.
Oh, dude,
Silver Surfer in this movie, yay or nay? You gotta call it down.
Nah, because honestly, nah. The reason why I'm saying nah, put it this way: the me that wants it, fucking fully wants it.
Oh yeah.
But the me that believes in the world that we live in, I don't see.
The Watchers.
Again,
the Watchers.
The Watchers are Fantastic Four, bro.
Fantastic Four.
I know. That's why I was like, how the fuck did they do that?
Because they got Ego as well. Ego was Fantastic Four.
Yeah, Ego was a trade with Negasonic.
Right.
But what did they trade?
But we don't know that's the only trade.
I know.
Because they gave Fox the right to do X-Men related TV shows. That's a lot of money.
I know. That's why. That's the thing. Like,
so there had to be something bigger than just Ego, the Living Planet.
It couldn't have just been Ego. It couldn't have just been Watchers.
Is Phase 4?
I'm hoping it's Fantastic Four, bro.
Fantastic Four, is it?
I fucking want it to so badly.
At the end of Infinity War, do we see a big purple hand come out of the sky and open up, and the Silver Surfer fly out of it towards the screen? Hello, cool.
Do we see the Fantastic Four?
Right. Jeez. Okay. Cool.
He wants to join the episode. He's like, check out my anus.
Check out my
dude. All right. Beta Ray Bill. To me, I see that as I'm gonna say yay. I think that's more likely because they own that.
Okay.
Silver Surfer. See, you brought up the point where I'm like, they gave him television.
They did, man.
Legion was the first. That was a collab, but that was But then you've got all those little
Hellfire and
you got the X shows coming out. So
yeah.
And it was like, what's that? Like, what do you want for that? I don't know about the whole 4, but Galactus and Silver Surfer, I could see them more trading that.
If they gave them, you can just make X-Men TV. Like you could just do whatever with it, and we're associated with it because remember,
that's
Marvel Television is associated with Legion. So if they're being buddy, they canceled. Remember, they took that shit off the docket.
They took what off? Fantastic Four 2?
Fantastic Four
Yeah.
2 used to be on Fox's docket. They said that shit was happening. No longer there.
What would they call it if Marvel did it?
Fantastic Four.
Would you
Or
just
just
call it
FF.
Fantastic? Yeah, FF is good actually. Or F4. Oh wait, no, you don't want a 4. I think FF. Because 4 would indicate that it's the fourth. And technically it is the fourth film, but you don't want to relate to any of the previous at all.
Yeah, just the FF maybe?
FF is good. Just FF. Give me that. Dude, if... I'm telling... Is it too soon to show them? Knowing that Infinity War's the year after?
Because also they don't have to do necessarily a Fantastic Four movie right away. They can just introduce characters like Reed Richards as a character who exists in the MCU now, and they can like build them up towards a movie later on if they want, or just have them exist in that world.
But see, that's smarter to introduce a couple of the characters in the larger picture, and then like this is, I know this is what they're planning to do with Aquaman and Cyborg and Flash, introduce him in the Justice League and then spin off into another. But the lead up to Justice League wasn't what the lead up was to, say, Avengers Infinity War. Right. That's such a large lead up that you can easily just branch off so far if you want. Whatever character is introduced in that one film, you can be like, oh, remember that character who played an integral part? Well, who played a part. They've got a solo film in the works already. Right. They had one already. I don't know, dude. Fantastic Four would be tits. I don't think we'll see them. I don't think we'll see Surfer. They've
tried to get Surfers too soon because they haven't touched Surfer since Fantastic Four 2.
I think to have Surfer in the next Thor would be too soon. Prior
But I'm saying post-credit scene Infinity War, Purple Hand opens up, Silver Surfer flies out.
That's not. I think that's perfect. That's perfect timing to just sprinkle on the fucking sprinkle.
Right.
Just sprinkle it on.
I just wonder, man, because it's not when they grabbed Daredevil.
Yeah, I was like, ooh.
Because the rights lapsed or whatever, because they didn't make the movie. They tried to say, you can keep Daredevil if we can have Galactus.
They've always wanted Galactus, dude.
They want Galactus back.
They've always wanted Galactus, and this you bringing up
that's a lot of money for that television deal.
This television
man.
thing is definitely what's probably pushing it over at this point because I totally skimped on. I forgot.
Right.
That's a big. It's like, hey, you want to make loads of money on something that you could probably do better, and you could put it this way: you can do it because we're not even going to touch them.
Right.
That's small fry for us. We want the stuff that you fucked up. Well, the stuff that you can't technically use, because you can't throw in Galactus and Silver Surfer into an X-Men film.
Right, you can't do it.
But we can throw them all up in this Marvel shit.
Yeah, man, we're already showing them. Because you go 84 outside of Earth, our shit is bonkers. Have you not seen our
cosmic stuff? It's amazing. Right.
Yeah, so I'm very, very curious where we're going from here, man.
Surfer in Thor too soon?
Beta Ray Bill, though?
I'd like a Beta Ray Bill. I think that would be...
And you think we're getting them? We're getting them this time. Beta Ray Bill.
I would like it. I would love it. Okay. If we don't get it, it's not like I'm going to be like, oh, shit movie, throwing the table. Right. I'm not going to toss it. Yeah, no. But I
also heard a theory before we get out of here. I heard a theory that either Thor could open up because now they've established that there's multiple dimensions. Thor could open up another dimension to get the other hammer, the one with the axe on the end of it, because that's Ultimate Thor's hammer.
Right.
That we could see a version where he takes a hammer from somewhere else. The other theory, though, is we still don't know who Dinklage is playing, and he's supposed to be in Infinity War.
Who's he? MODOK?
There's theory that maybe he is one of the that in the Thor universe, the people that make all the weapons, like Mjolnir and stuff, are these dwarf like blacksmith guys.
Yeah. Okay.
So they were saying like maybe he could be that. I don't know if they're going to go that on the nose with him. I think it'd be hilarious if he just showed up as MODOK or something. But
Eternity.
I'd be bizarre, but he's got great voice.
He does.
So
He's good. I'd
who
believe
knows?
it. It'd be out of nowhere.
There's just
But-
a lot. There's a lot coming,
I love
and
it. I love it all.
so
Give it
many
to me.
mysteries. So many mysteries. Hurry up and get us to Infinity War, man. Hurry
We're
us
there,
up.
though, dude. We're already like, because Guardians was the first of the Marvels this year.
Yep. And then
It hit good.
next month, Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman's.
Month after that, Spider-Man.
Spidey. Month after. Wait, is that the same month? Do we get Defenders on TV? Or the month after? We get that August, right?
Month after that, we get Defenders on TV.
And then a month after that, Inhumans.
And then
IMAX
2
Pro
months
September.
after 2 months after that, we get Thor.
Love it.
This year, bananas.
It was good. Love it.
All right, man.
That was good.
So I think that'll cut it. Watch Guardians is great. We're gonna watch it again as soon as we can.
Yep.
But until the next one, guys. Also, 84, man. That's our year.
Good year.
84 babies. What's up? All right. Until the next one, guys. Stay chipper chaps.
Stay chipper.
What up, Chipper Chap? This is Chipper Chap Chat. What up, Chipper Chap? This is Chipper Chap Chat. What up, Chipper Chap? This is Chipper Chap Chat. What up, Chipper Chap? This is Chipper Chap Chat.